and doing help desk stuff and break fix stuff. And, that profession is really picking up. And there's a lot of jobs out there. And I'm gonna tell you what she did. She got me a book when PCs for Dummies was really big. She bought me this old little laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and I became so inquisitive, and I began to read and break down the computer and fix it. The
Mm-hmm.
next thing you know, she done fixed up my resume, and I
Oh
was on
wow.
an interview, and I got a job as a break fix technician and
What?
Arlington, and that's how I got into the technology field because she
Wow.
she encouraged me. She was so oh man, she was so wise. She encouraged me in such a way, and showed me how to build computers and just different stuff to really like open me up, you know, to get me to another level. And I'll never forget that.
Wow.
And she had that ability. Yep,
To, to,
that's how I got into. I had a really good job, in technology without even having a degree. I
yeah.
just could pick up stuff really good. I had a pretty decent memory,
She knew her assignment,
and
Stephanie. She knew her assignment.
I was
yeah,
just gonna say it's rolling in my head. She knew her assignment.
She
I was
knew
just
her
like giving him
assignment.
a
She
break, and
spoke into that
then I was gonna say
man.
he right.
She
Yes, he
encouraged
did.
you
I said,
and
"Won't we
saw
do it?
something
God will
in
put us
you.
in it."
Wow.
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Wow.
That's cool.
But
That's cool.
and I wanted to share this because I'm so glad you brought that point up about the standards that you really want in a mate. And I remember a few times when my ex-wife and I were dating, I called her, you know, I used to call Maisha Sweet. That was a nickname I gave her.
Mm-hmm.
And I called Tammy that a few times, and man, it really hurt her so bad. She was like,
Wow.
we're not gonna make it because you still thinking about her.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're delusional. She was like, but she still wanted to give him a chance.
Uh-huh.
And but
What?
you're so right that I was so used to a certain element of things being done and the way things were done, and subliminally I was doing things in her present in her presence and not knowing that I
You know, conscious
was
of it.
really
Yeah, yeah,
yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
and yeah. So that I'm so glad because I never really thought of that, man,
Yeah.
and until you really brought that out, that because I was really trying to deny it, but I couldn't because I really experienced that on such a level
Yeah.
with her.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way that I could really deny that. Those qualities, those standards
Right.
that were so genuine, and that
Did
I
you,
become accustomed to, and so you know,
right. Did you do any type of therapy or counseling prior to getting married, like for yourself to
you,
deal with your grief?
I didn't. No, I sure didn't. Like I was gonna say that I just took, the traditional black person's approach to it.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer will fix it, and time will heal.
Yeah.
And come to find out, no,
Okay.
my soul needed some therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And one
yeah.
thing that hurts me that to see her hurt because we had to end something that could potentially, been beautiful.
Right.
And that's the only thing that I definitely regret so so bad about not getting therapy.
Right.
And I would tell anybody,
Mm-hmm.
yes, therapy for your soul, for the things that are broken and that you need some professional help to fix.
Right. Yep.
I agree. I
Mm-hmm.
agree.
I agree
So, do you
too.
think you dealt with depression?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I
Okay.
I definitely you know I had gained 100 pounds almost
Okay.
because I wouldn't come out the room. I was just eating and buying little knick-knack stuff. offline
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a gadget guy, so I was buying little gadgets, little robots,
Uh-huh.
playing
Mhm.
with my
Mhm.
little robots,
Yeah.
Okay.
and
Doing things to just take your mind
not
off
really
of
have
it. Mm-hmm.
right.
Keep your mind busy.
And I did it, I went fishing every weekend with my uncle. That was really good because,
Right.
but that didn't fix the deeper issues as it relates to what I really needed healing from.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would tell anyone, yes,
Right.
if you really think you need it, I would encourage it highly.
Definitely.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
encourage therapy
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I've benefited from it for years, and it hasn't been. And listeners, or I talk about it, or um, it's just therapeutic to have someone to talk to about things that
Mm.
you're thinking about going through, feeling, and it's an unbiased opinion. It's you don't feel like you're being judged. They can give you the advice and tools that you need to deal with triggers, depression, family matters, career, and
Mhm.
grief. And I definitely think it's not something that we need to be ashamed of, or, black people, we don't do that. No, we do. we do, or
Right.
we should. At least we should.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Mhm.
wow. And so how
Yep.
long, and you don't, for her, it's personal and private information, and you don't have to share like her name or anything like that, but how long uh, were you married before you noticed that things were not, or that, working out, like that you
Uh.
needed to get some sort of help?
Probably like we were married for 3 years, but probably like 2.5 years in,
Hmm.
I was like, oh man, because there were certain things that she was saying that I really couldn't see. I didn't really think,
Yeah.
I was blinded by, what I thought that helped me, but
Right.
in turn, it really was, it really, because I sat down,
Hmm.
um, I sat down emotionally. I was like, man, what is wrong with me?
Hmm.
Because, I love her. I love her, and even to this day, I still love her.
Sure.
Um, Such a beautiful person to be around, and but but when I got by myself and thought about it, I was like, man, I really didn't properly release a lot of the, um, feelings and stuff that I
Sure.
had for Maisha, and that could have helped me. You know, I could have still been in this marriage if I would have sought help, but I didn't. I forgave myself.
Let me ask you, and I'm gonna ask you this question because we talked about it, Stephanie and I, and we were asked, like, what would be the perspective of a male in this situation, and it has to do
Hmm.
with pictures. So, did you have pictures of Maisha around your house? Maybe when you were dating, or once you got married?
Yes, I had, you know, I had pictures, especially, definitely online. I left her pictures up for years,
Mm-hmm.
and even after I was dating, I still had a lot of pictures up. But when things began to get serious with Tammy and I, and family members said, "Well, since you're really getting serious about this young lady, you probably want to take those pictures down because you don't want, you know, to cause any, I don't know what the word would be, but you don't want to cause any friction between,
Comfort.
yes, yeah, because you know, because she would often say, she said, man, I saw so many of your pictures. It seemed like y'all had such a full, loving life together,
Mm-hmm.
and she would always say that. And she even told me a few times. She said, I don't. I just felt like I was in competition with her,
Oh.
and I didn't want to feel that way. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so yes, I had pictures, but I took them down, and of course the ones that were in the house, I left up because um, nobody was coming over here to visit me anyway, so I left those up. But the ones that were online, um, yeah, I left them up for a while,
Okay.
and I knew I was getting serious. I took them down.
And so it was family that influenced, or did you take them down because you were ready, or did you take them down because of the influence of others?
No, I wasn't. I'm gonna be honest,
Okay.
because I was thinking like, she was a part of my life. I just want to have some type of memory of her. I'm not trying to, make my new mate feel any kind of way, but
Yeah.
There are certain pictures that I wanted to keep forever. Of course, I still have them, but I wanted to leave them online,
Right.
but I took them down because,
Right.
I didn't want, yes, but
Yeah.
I wanted to leave them up, honestly.
Because it's like you don't want to erase those years of your life. Like for me, I was married for
Right.
24 years and
Wow.
but dating a total
Wow.
of 27. I know, right? I know. I know you knew me when I
Wow.
was thin and when Zenoran had hair. So, you
Wow,
knew Zenoran when we called
Okay.
him. You knew Zenoran when we called him Chris.
yes, yes.
But it's like you don't want to I can't erase 27 years of my life, just to remove those
That's not
pictures.
erasing.
Yeah, and you're not erasing. We had this discussion, Stephanie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said.
It just
I got a
feels,
question. Got a question.
exactly. And so I wanted to ask Lawrence his opinion and, how he moved forward with that decision as well.
Since you didn't want to take them down, honestly, if the role was reversed, how would you feel? Meaning, you're dating someone seriously in the photo.
You know what? I'm gonna be quite frank with you. I'm different like that. I'm like, if the memory of your loved one, helps you day by day, I wouldn't feel challenged by it. I wouldn't feel any kind of way. But if that was some kind of way to, help you keep going and keep, a subtle memory of them alive, then I wouldn't. I wouldn't feel funny.
So you're
No.
saying that keeping the photos up would be the settle the way that you could keep the memories alive. And the reason I'm asking is because I'm on both sides, if you can relate to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If it was reversed for me, I wouldn't want it.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't want to see someone's deceased loved one every time we're together. Or when we go
Tell him the way you told
whatever.
me. Tell him the way you told me.
That's what I'm saying. Because I wouldn't want to be talking to you that the person that that I'm with. I want to go talking to you and your wife is looking at me in her wedding dress.
Oh.
And I'm
See,
talking
you
to you.
stop
You
everyone like she
you
gets
telling me
everyone
you-
like that.
You telling me you love me and you want us to start this, new journey, but your wife is looking at me, everywhere I look. Okay, here's our wedding dress. Here's the vacation y'all went on. These are the good times y'all had. But you saying you want us to start this new journey. How would you feel?
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So I'd be like, no. Make you think, huh?
That's how she got me on the last show.
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
Just another opinion to think about it, because it works
Yes,
both
it
ways.
is.
It works both ways. And I can, like I said, I can relate to what you're saying, about holding memories, and me and Dana had the discussion.